Good afternoon, everyone. Men, ladies. Eisar Yaakov is certainly a time of distress for Klal Yisroel. Many people are confused. How am I supposed to react? The Gemara Megillah asks Akasha, why did Esther invite Haman to a banquet? Imagine Rebbetzin Meltzer, Rebbetzin Weissmandel, inviting Hitler to a meal. So the Gemara gives many answers, and the Gemara said they're all true. One of the answers is that she was worried that Klal Yisroel should not say, Achos yesh lanu bebeis hamelech. We really don't have to worry. We got a sister that's queen. We're well connected. So therefore she invited Haman. They should start thinking, well, maybe she's turned, God forbid. And that she wanted to ensure that we have the right attitude that ein lanu li'ishayin ela al Avinu shebashamayim. That all we have to rely on is our Father in heaven. Much has been said. Everybody's seen pictures of the biggest aircraft carrier in the world, $13 billion state-of-the-art war machine coming to the Mediterranean. What's there to worry? The U.S. Normandy, there's a whole war power that's there to help us. It means nothing. At the same time, they say, well, without a speaker to the House, we can't do anything. At the same time, because America is there doing, not necessarily doing anything, but there, people are starting up with American Jews all over the world. In Australia, there was a mass protest chanting, "Gas the Jews." Yesterday, there was in London a hit and run in Golders Green, an attack against Jews. In Flatbush, a boy was beaten up. You know, there's Chinatown, there's Palestine town in Flatbush. The fact that American intelligence tells us that they know that there's 15 Hamas cells here in America, that they've been here for 14 months, just waiting to attack and harm Jews. That's what they are, terrorists. They strike terror. They strike terror. So it's interesting that people say, yes, we have to work on being noisei ba'olim chaverai. There is a Klei Yakar. It's a beautiful Klei Yakar. Klei Yakar says there was somebody on a cruise boat, and the captain was walking around the ship, and he hears drilling. Drilling on a boat? That's not good. It's coming from one of the first-class cabins. So he knocks on the door, and he sees a guy's drilling a hole to the bottom of the boat. He says, "What are you, crazy?" He says, "Excuse me, sir, this is my cabin. I paid for it. This is your cabin. What you do over here could sink the whole boat." What happens by Klal Yisroel in one place affects all of Klal Yisroel. There's no question about it. And let's not make any mistake. Halacha b'yedua she'esav seinei es Yaakov. Everything could be twisted in a second. You'll say, well, Baruch Hashem, they took hostages from other countries, so now they're going to see. So they're turning it around. Tell the Israelis to stop because they might harm the hostages. Everything could be turned in a minute. Now the Israelis told Chevron to close the Tamar gas fields. That's all they need, is that the Hamas should hit the gas fields. But now there's going to be people, when it starts getting cold, without heat. It's a Jewish problem. So there's a lot to daven for. Getting together to say Tehillim, the Koyach HaRabim, showing that we interrupt our day, that we care, that's definitely good. But we need to have a consciousness about this throughout our prayers. You bench, there's a tefillah there. Rachem na Hashem Elokeinu al Yisrael amecha v'al Yerushalayim irecha. Let's daven. We have in Shemona Esrei a bracha that a lot of people just cruise right through. Now it takes on so much meaning. V'azeidim mehera sa'aker sa'shaber sa'mager sa'chalem v'sa'shpilem v'sa'chniem mehera v'yameinu. If this isn't Zaydim shooting over 5,000 missiles straight into people's houses, Mamish Zaydim butchering men, women, and children. We have to be careful we also don't fall into a trap. And that is not to put the blame on others. Yeah, well, they were having a concert on Shabbos, on Simchas Torah, on Shmini Atzeres. What do you expect? That's not what Hashem wants from us now. Of course it angers Hashem. There's no question about it. No question about it. But that's not what Hashem wants from us now. Hashem wants each and every one of us to say, what can I do better as a schus for thousands of people that are wounded, families where children are homeless. There's a couple, they had a gun, they hid their 2 babies, and they started shooting. They both were killed, and their 2 babies were found 14 hours later. So you have 2 babies without their parents. And this is something that very frighteningly is not going to be, it's not going to be 1 or 2. Rachmana litzlan. There's a lot to daven for. When we say Yukim Purkun on Shabbos, and we ask Hashem, v'yisporkun v'yishtezvun min kol oko min kol marin bishin. Yishtezvun is the way that it sounds. Yishtezvun means to save us and to redeem us from any mishap and any bad things. These are bad things. These are bad things. It will be with the will of Hashem that the words of our Tehillim, that's remember when the Balak asked the Ziknei Midian, Ma tivun shalelu, what's the nature of these people? Einim nasei shel elu ela b'peh. Our koyach is the mouth. Hakel kol Yaakov. Eila v'recha ve'eila v'susim v'nachnu v'shem Hashem Elokeinu nazkir. We come with Hashem Elokeinu. That's what we come with. We come with asking Hashem to help us. I've told you this before. There's only one pasuk in the entire Torah. It's B'gematria Eretz Yisroel. I found this in an ancient sefer way before computers. The only pasuk in the entire Torah that's B'gematria, the whole pasuk is B'gematria 832, is the pasuk Hashem Ish Milchama Hashem Shmai. Hashem is the one that's controlling the Iron Dome. Hashem is the one that's controlling the war now, build iron sword. Of course, the Rebbeinu Shalom sends Schusim al Yedei Zakai, the brave warriors that are fighting in the IDF. You have to be careful, Rabbi say. This is where it brings out. People say, yeah, what about those boys? They're getting away. Our boys are at the front while they're sitting safely in the yeshivas, in the seminaries. We know that the boys that are sitting in yeshiva, they're fueling the Iron Dome. They're fueling the tanks. When we went to Midian, it says Elef Lamata, Elef Lamata. And the Dazakain Balitaisa says, why does it repeat Elef Lamata, Elef Lamata? It says that for every 1,000 that went to battle against the Midianites, there were 1,000 that were learning for them. The learning that they do in Eretz Yisroel, the learning that we do here, the davening that we do here, is what's fueling them. It's like the Chavetz Chaim said when they made a appeal for a new hospital. So a bunch of Ashirim came. This one dedicated a bed. This one dedicated a half a bed. And the Chavetz Chaim called out, he's dedicating 50 beds. Everybody looked. He said, because of my B'nai Yeshiva, you don't need those 50 beds. They're protecting the world from sickness. What we do here today, Rabbi say, you came and you stopped and you interrupted your day. All of you that join us from all over the country, the women that are here coming to shul, they're not used to coming in the middle of the week. And we say that words of David HaMelech, that has always been the best way to react to tzara. Who knows? Who knows? The Tehillim that we say might save a soldier's life. The Tehillim that we say might help one wounded recover. The Tehillim that we say might cause a missile to miss its mark. And by the way, anytime you have a taiva to look at the news, open a Tehillim instead. Open a Tehillim instead. I told somebody last night that they were looking at the news. I said, what are you doing? It's going to make you just depressed. It's going to give you nightmares. Open up a Tehillim. The person finished the whole Tehillim. So you could scroll foolishly on the news for 2.5 hours, getting nowhere. Or you could finish Sefer Tehillim. They asked the Ger Rebbe, what do you say about the situation in Eretz Yisroel? You know what he said? I say Tehillim. That's what he said. What do you say? I say Tehillim. So I asked Ramosha Hyman to start for us the saying of Tehillim. Just wait, Ramosha, a second as I could set up, because other people want to join.